All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 13 of GACHIAKUTA. And you know, when you've been watching anime long enough, you can tell when you know, they are moving on to a different arc. You know, like they don't always do it so obviously, but sometimes it's kind of obvious. So this is like the end of the first arc, or at least the first core of the season, the first half of the season. And so we're about to dive into something else. And so that was kind of apparent by how the episode was structured, because this came to a really neat conclusion. And then, like, you know, but as the story progresses, we see that, all right, something bigger and badder is going on, and some trouble is afoot. But so we got Amos' backstory, right? We was struggling with Amo and all of her shenanigans and problems, and trying to get this information out of her. And unfortunately, and it was hard to watch last episode, and then this episode had some content that was hard to watch. But unfortunately, last episode, it's crazy, but Rudo, you know, gave Amo the 1-2 combo of all 1-2 combos. He just went in on her, like, relentlessly, you know, in an unfair way, in a malicious and heavy-handed and excessive way, right? Which made it an issue to get information out of Amo. Now, finally, she's up and conscious, and she's giving us not the information we're looking for. She's giving us her story, her backstory, but through listening to her story, we get this information that we're looking for. But so basically, y'all, I mean, look, this was a pretty straightforward episode. Amo was sold as a child. Her mom sold her for a bag of money to a man. And that's enough, you know, to most people. I feel like that's enough to understand where this goes left. Now, she was like, what, like maybe 4, 5, 6 or something, and then I don't know. I mean, they're together for some years in terms of like her growing up, and how much time they spent together, right? Like in this living situation. But he's basically the guy that bought Amo, traded money for Amo to her mom. He's the one that brought Amo to the no man's land. So this is how she ends up there. And he was a real creep, bro, because he brought her there because he knew nobody else was gonna show up there, right? And it was really only, you know, we don't know who these characters are or what they do, you know, but we determined at the end of the episode, the only people that showed up out there was the same person that took out Regto before Rudo came down to the ground, right? And when I seen the mask, I was like, is that the same one? I wasn't sure, but by the end of the episode, Amo draws what the mask looked like, and Rudo recognizes the mask, right? But so that's what I mean. Like, think about the context, family. Nobody really showed up out there. Like, this creep guy that bought, I don't even remember his name, that bought Amo, he was right. Nobody was gonna show up out there. It took this you know, this figure that we know little about and who is obviously very powerful, right? It took that type of figure, this anonymous figure, to show up out of nowhere, you know? So, and Amos referring to her as an angel. What I'm, this is not like a regular human. It might be, but this is not. This is like only by happenstance that Amos was really saved in this type of situation, because it was not a mere mortal. It was not like a regular everyday person that just showed up. You feel me? Other than that, it's really only the cleaners like Rudo and Engine and gang popping up, but they're only showing up because of what they heard about when this other character showed up. I don't know. Do we have a title or like we don't know anything about them. They just wear a mask and they just manipulate events however they feel. They took out Regto, and then they came and took the boots from this guy that purchased Amo, and they said, "No, Amo, you deserve these boots," which created the struggle that led to his to his end, and he deserved it. And it was kind of, he fell off the highest ledge of ledges, the highest of high ledges, right? Like this was really a princess in the tower being saved type of story for Amo, right? Like, think of this character being like like Bowser that kidnapped Peach, right? And Rudo is Mario going into Bowser's castle, right? And saving Peach. Because they did do a little trauma bonding, romantic connection type thing at the end there, when Rudo, I guess, tried to apologize, but not enough, if you ask me, because he really put the pause on her last episode. It was hard to watch, family. But they kind of, more than a truce, but they come to terms. They meet each other where they're at. He didn't really say I'm sorry, but he extended his hand, in a peaceful way as opposed to an aggressive one. And they kind of connected because, Amo sees, certainly she sees herself in Rudo. Maybe, who knows if Rudo does the other way around. But they connected. And then at the end of the episode, wasn't he like confirmed it? Wasn't he like thinking about her or something like that? Anyway, I left that episode convinced that the feelings were mutual. Y'all let me know if you disagree. And then what else happened, right? Okay, but that's the thing, right? With these conclusions, is they always gotta sprinkle you with little like, like a cliffhanger, like what's about to happen next. Because as soon as we leave, and I didn't like the way they set it up. because of Amo's past, where your mind goes when she starts saying like, "What are you doing? Please stop!" And it's behind closed doors. But Jabber showed up and stole her boots because he recognized, he was the one that pointed out that Rudo's gloves came from a series. Now, we as cleaners know, after being with Amo, that her boots are of the same series. By the time that we left, so we don't know that this happened in terms of the cleaners, but they have no idea that Jabber showed up after they left and took the boots. So obviously they're aware of what other items are in this same series. Now, we just know that the emblem on there is the same. I don't know exactly what makes this series stand out to them, but that's what happened. Jabber, and he looked a little different to me. I don't know if it's just the lighting in where he's at, but he came and stole Amo's boots. Rudo and Amo made like a romantic connection, in my opinion. We did identify who this angel is and who's going to the sphere. Now, right, this same character has been seen in the sphere by Rudo, and now in the ground twice by Amo. So this is like the only character we know that is actually going back and forth safely. We don't know how, though. We don't know if they're a giver or a raider or what. But anyhow, family, I'm excited to see the second half of GACHIAKUTA. It's been pretty cool thus far. Peace and love, family. All praises.